Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Middleton, and today I'm going to be talking to you or introducing you to program evaluation as a means for a research method. Just a little bit of a background. So, evaluation was created by the CDC. However, educational institutions across the nation have used this evaluation method or this research method. Um, there are so many different avenues for research, and as it comes to what institutions use for programs, this is one way that institutions can stay on top of different changes and different trends, and also have good quality control about the things that they're presenting to their students. As we know that is important. It's more than just giving out data and giving out information. It's also how good is that information that we are giving out to the students. That is key. So, some of the major components that are related to program evaluation. Number one is their evaluation steps. Okay, the program evaluation has specific steps that you have to do in order to move on to the next step. And each time you're doing one step, you're gathering information and you're putting data where it needs to go in order to fulfill all of your necessary points before moving forward. I think that this is a major component because it helps structure the research in a good way. You have way more opportunities for organization when you can't move forward until this step is complete. You can't go here until one thing is done. And so this really allows for efficiency and operational measures to be above reproach. So another major component would be the standards used for evaluation. Throughout the entire research process, there are specific standards that can and will be used in order to make sure that the research is done properly, the means by which the data is being collected, and all other aspects of the research is being done properly. Now, there are many different standards, of approximately 30, but the majority have been grouped down into four common groups, which is called, or the groups are utility standards, feasibility standards, proprietary standards, and accountability standards. And all of those four standards are important to each aspect of research. And I think it's very crucial that we understand that although there are 30 standards, these are the four more commonly used standards. But to have evaluation standards in research allows for those who are not involved in the research to understand why this research is being done, um, who is it impacting, how efficient and effective was that research, was it flawed, and these standards kind of help with that. Another major component is logic models. So this is good because it shows the process and correlations. First, you talk about like the reasonings behind the research and what process and steps will be taken to do it, but then more importantly, what correlations from the research can be found. How can we determine that what we're actually doing research on correlates to what we're needing for now or in the future? So having logic models is very crucial. Another major component is the indicators that come from this research method. Okay, some of the indicators they're literally used as determining the efficacy of the program. So these indicators are based on outcome. How important or how good was the outcome as it relates to what was the intended outcome or what is being done improperly within the program. The process, how these indicators can tell us what is being done in terms of step by step. Is it following the right necessary protocols to make sure that the process is being done correctly? Or is it off and we need to make changes? And input, what data is being used, what data is being put into the research to make sure that the research is correct and efficient. And those are some of the indicators. Some of the strengths and weaknesses for the program evaluation being used as a research method are listed here. Um, One strength that I think that it is important to note is at the end of the day, this is going to be more consistent and more active amongst higher education. And what I mean by that is you can always do program evaluation. You can do it every year. You can do it every semester. You can do it every week if you really wanted to crunch those numbers all the time. And I say that because some admissions programs use program evaluation to sit there and monitor how good did we do this week in terms of getting communication and letters out to students and receiving said communication and letters back. Um, Another thing that's great about the strengths for this is the strategic planning models. Colleges and universities across the nation have to, in order to be accredited, have to understand that um, we live in a time where if you're not accredited, your degree doesn't matter, so to speak. And I think it's very key and crucial that we're showing the accreditation board that we're using these models in our strategic planning that are going to last over years or over the next 1 year, over the next semester, whatever it is that we place in our strategic planning models. And that's used for our accreditation for however, whatever cycle institutions have. Some have 4, some have 3, some have 7, stuff like that. One of the weaknesses for this is the fact that it takes time, depending upon what you are studying, and it also has political implications. And I really wanted to touch on that just a little bit. The potential political implications are not what you're maybe thinking, and it is more based on what the school thinks is important. For example, a private school may feel that a biblical education is more important than a public school. And so if a private school group of students or organization is trying to put on this program and the private entity is like, no, this goes against the Bible or this goes against something else, and our board members won't like that, then that's the politics that I mean by a weakness. There's some kind of bias sometimes in that. And then, so what applications do we have for educational research? I think that I couldn't break it down into one because I think it can be used everywhere. So on the left we have academic, and this is pretty much open and shut. It can be used academically because not only do colleges and universities have degrees, but they also have specialties, i.e., honors programs. So we can really look at how good and how efficient the honors program is over a course of time, over a cohort, which most of them have started to do those now. And so we can follow those along and see what things need to be changed, what things are good, what things can be better, etc. In the middle, we have a picture of a dorm, and we talk about residence life. I used to work in residence life, and I think that I use program evaluation every semester on what things can be traditional programs, which means that they last over each year, or things that are semester based, and what things can be done that can prove that we have retention in residence life. Most residence halls are auxiliary, and they make sure that in order to make money, we have to have students in beds. So therefore, you need to make sure that students are coming back and wanting to come back, and these programs evaluation methods can do that. Finally, it can be used in the admissions aspect, where it be how the communication is going out to students and what's being brought back in. Are students accepting of the letters that they're receiving, or the emails or the phone calls, or are they upset that they're getting their phones or emails blown up from the institution about, please come join us? And so another form of program evaluation that's key and can be used across the board in higher ed. Um, I really liked this whenever I was doing research, and according to Welch, program evaluation is crucial for institutional quality control and program improvement. And here's why this is important. And I believe that not only are we looking at future programs, but we are also looking at what we're doing now. Sometimes the wheel doesn't need to be fixed. Sometimes it does. And so, how can we continue to have a good working wheel, or how can we fix a broken wheel? And I think that's crucial because at any given time, there's a new set of students coming in, and they're bringing in a new dynamic, a new aspect to a student body, a new personality, a new form of technology. And all these things play a role in how programs will work for us now and in the future. And so that's why I think that this is important. And below are my references. And thank you for sitting in and listening to my presentation about program evaluation.